So what's really in a name? Well, for one founder engineer, it's a whole story of irony, big ambitions, and building a global tech brand straight out of Legos. Today, we're going to unpack the entire journey of Iamnotshifu and talk about the new podcast that's putting his whole process out there for everyone to see. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's just tackle the big question right off the bat. Who or what is Iamnotshifu? Well, according to the man himself, the name is pure irony. It's this clever bit of branding, Deny something obvious, and it just makes people remember it more. And that kind of unconventional thinking, it's a theme you're going to see again and again throughout his entire story.
So here's the game plan for today. First, we'll get to know the person behind the name. Then we'll dive into his accidental origin story, which, believe it or not, starts with a t-shirt business. From there, we'll see how freelancing grew into a legit company with a really unique philosophy, all of which leads us to his brand new podcast.
Okay, let's kick things off with part one. Who is Iamnotshifu? Because to really get the brand, you've got to understand the person. A founder and an engineer building with a truly global mindset, all from his base in Legos.
So here's the quick snapshot. His full name is Nyuiring-yoh Rhagninyui Shifu-Nfor. He grew up between Lagos, Nigeria and Yaoundé, Cameroon, which is amazing because it means he's fluent in English, French, and his native limbam. But on top of that, he's a self-taught full-stack developer and a founder, all while finishing his degree in computer information systems. You can just imagine how this cross-cultural background is absolutely key to the way he solves problems.
Moving on to our second chapter, the accidental coder. Now, you might think a story like this would start in some classroom or a coding boot camp, but nope, you'd be wrong. His whole journey into tech was totally unplanned. It was born out of pure necessity. Just check out this timeline. It all starts back in 2018 with a t-shirt business he called In Bronx. It was doing well, but then it hit that classic startup problem. He needed a website but had absolutely no money for one. So that led to this huge moment in 2020 when he just decided, you know what, I'll build it myself. And that one decision, it changed everything. By the time he actually started university 2 years later, he wasn't just another student. He was already a developer with real experience under his belt.
And that's really the key thing to take away here. His path into code wasn't about academics. It was all about entrepreneurship. He wasn't trying to get a certificate. He was trying to solve a real business problem. And that practical, just-get-it-done attitude really defines his whole approach to technology.
So how do you go from that first spark to something bigger? Well, our third section here tracks his whole journey from freelancer to founder, showing that shift from just being a guy who codes to someone building a real business.
This slide shows the evolution perfectly. It started back in 2020 with NFORSHIFU 234 Dev. A typical freelance name to get your work out there and build a reputation. But now, it's become NFORSHIFU LogicForge LTD, a fully registered company. And this wasn't just changing the name. It was a very deliberate move from a personal portfolio to a structured business that's actually built for growth.
And this number, 90%, this shows you the real-world impact of that problem-solving mindset we were talking about. During an internship at Vast2Net's Technologies, he didn't just do his tasks, no way. He built automation APIs that cut the team's manual workflow time by a massive 90%. That's the difference right there. It's one thing to just code, but it's another to fundamentally change how a whole business operates.
This whole shift to LogicForge wasn't just about the legal stuff. It really represented a new, formalized philosophy, a set of principles for how to build technology that actually lasts.
So here they are, the 4 pillars of the LogicForge Paradigm. First up, ship, then improve. Just get it out there, because actually doing something creates momentum. Next is Nyuiring-yoh to global. This is a core idea. If you can build solutions that work in a challenging environment like Nigeria, they can work anywhere. The third principle is to document everything. Pay it forward so the next person doesn't have to start from square one. And finally, a huge focus on impact over impressions. Success is about how useful your product is, not about how many likes it gets. Okay, so you've built the brand, you've built the company, and you've got this guiding philosophy. What's the next logical step? You start sharing the playbook. And that brings us to our final section, the podcast. Yep, he's launching Keeping Up with Iamnotshifu. And the whole idea behind the podcast is to track his professional journey as it happens, in real time. It's meant to be a transparent look at what it really takes to build a tech brand from Legos for a global audience, and how you go from just raw passion to engineered precision. And this episode list really connects all the dots of his story, doesn't it? You're gonna get deep dives into that first spark from the t-shirt brand, the inside story of that 90% automation project, the philosophy behind his main software as a service product called Wish It, and of course, the whole formalization of the LogicForge paradigm. It's the full story, totally unfiltered.
So we'll leave you with the one question that really sits at the heart of this entire story. What happens when that raw entrepreneurial passion gets engineered with the precision of a founder? Nyuiring's journey is basically a real-time experiment trying to answer that exact question, and his new podcast is your open invitation to follow along.